So today's episode is a full non-spoiler review on Manacled. This is a solo episode just by myself, Sally, and I'm going to be covering everything Manacled completely non-spoiler. So if you've been wondering what Manacled is about, if it is for you, or maybe you picked up Manacled, read a little bit of it and you were just like, nah, I can't get into it, but you're wondering what the hype is, then this is the episode. I'm going to go over, what it is, how to read it, what to expect, and just my general view of it, which I absolutely love this book. So I'm really, really keen to do this episode. So let's get into it. Everything Manacled, completely non-spoiler. Okay, so let's get into our Manacled episode. So it's just me today. It's just Sally. I'm going to be covering Manacled. I've just finished reading this book. So what I wanted to do, because it's a very particular book. There's a particular style of writing. It's very dark. So I wanted to cover it because I just know there'd be so many people that are either like, I'm not much of a Harry Potter fan, or maybe I love Harry Potter and you started reading it and it wasn't at all what you expected. So I wanted to go over Manacled without ruining anything, without spoiling anything. I'm going to do that. I'm going to tell you guys what it is about, and just all of that beautiful stuff. So let's get into it. What is Manacled, right? Manacled is a Harry Potter fan fiction. Its author is SenYinLu, and it kicks off with an alternative ending with Harry Potter. You only have to jump on Goodreads to see what the alternate ending is. I'm not going to say it because I actually think that if you have no idea and you're going to read it, just don't even look at anything. Don't look at anything. Don't even read the blurb for the book, because I feel like it's already kind of like a big spoiler, even though you'll figure it out in the first few pages. All you need to know is that Manacled is an alternate ending to Harry Potter, right? So it is a Harry Potter fan fiction. There's all the Harry Potter characters, but the ending is completely different of Harry Potter, and you just start off at a different time frame. It's not necessarily straight from the ending of Harry Potter, but generally the tides of the Harry Potter war are just completely different. You need to know that this book is a dark fantasy. It is a dark fantasy. It's classified genre as like dark romance / dark fantasy. Okay, so it features Draco, Malfoy, and Hermione as the MMC and the FMC. So you just need to know that this is super dark, right? If a dark book is not for you, this is probably not going to be your book, because it is really, really dark. So I digress, because I'll get into that in a moment. But just a few random little things that popped up for me. So I didn't realize that Draco and Hermione, was an actual thing. I had remembered seeing a couple of things on Dramini, and I thought that was specifically coming from just Manacled. Like everyone that read Manacled came up with Dramini, and that was it. Little did I know that there are over 40,000 fan fictions of Dramini and a full fandom. So Dramini is a thing, and it has been going for, since the dawn of Harry Potter, as a fan fiction, as a couple or a romantic couple or whatever. There is endless amounts of books on it. And shout out to, there was a girl on TikTok when I said that I was reading Manacled, and she said, she commented and gave me a couple of other, she's like, once this breaks your heart, you can go to this book, which is another Dramini fan fiction. So really, really interesting to me, because I had no idea that was how, that was a thing. 40,000 fan fictions of Dramini, which is actually insane. For Goodreads, so Manacled has 136,000 reviews on Goodreads with an average star rating of 4.63. That is a high rating, guys. That is a damn good Goodreads rating. So it is highly rated. It is highly recommended. It's just a freaking epic book, right? But I will go through a couple of different key themes and tropes so you can get that idea, understand, those general tropes of Manacled. I've got enemies to lovers. We're loving enemies to lovers. I've got forbidden romance. Again, love it. dystopian setting. So yes, it's in a different kind of setting to Harry Potter. We're not getting our happy little wizards and witches. Definitely completely, R-rated. I call this R-rated, R18 Harry Potter. And forced proximity, redemption arc, and memory loss as a key plot. So there is a couple that's key themes and tropes and plots. So memory loss is a big aspect of this. A lot of time jumping as well, which is something that I really loved. I shouldn't say that. It's not a lot of time jumping. It's just one section of the book to another section of the book, and we're going back in time or forward in time. And I think that is an important thing to remember. Once you get to 35%, I was reading my Manacled on Kindle because that's pretty much the only way you can read it unless you want to spend $300 on a book on Etsy, but that someone's printed or whatever. But I was at 35%, and that's where it changed. That's where there was a massive shift in the book. So you kind of need to stick things out a little bit to get the whole gist of the story and have a bit of a shake up. But yeah, there is a couple of those key tropes that we know and love in fantasy and romance. I want to note as well, so with Manacled, because it is a fan fiction and it essentially is taking off of the Harry Potter theme, SenYinLu wasn't able to get this all fully properly published. It's not a book that you're going to find at the bookstore properly published as a hard copy, right? Because it's J.K. Rowling's story of Harry Potter, and SenYinLu has written the fan fiction, so obviously that's just copyright issues, whatever. This book has been so successful that it is now being republished and rewritten into a story called Alchemized. So that is in the works at the moment. You actually won't be able to find a downloadable option of Manacled on Goodreads or on there's another big app that you can download books from. You won't find them. You won't find Manacled on that because the story's been taken down and she's rewriting it as Alchemized. So she's reimagining the story for publication, meaning some aspects will be changed and some will be retained as unique to the original fan fiction. So Alchemized, the new one, will be a standalone dark fantasy novel distinct from the original fan fiction. I think that this has got good and bad sides, right? So the downside is that when you start Manacled, you've already got all of the backstory of Harry Potter, and there's this heavy reliance. We all know who Voldemort is. We all know the Wall. We all know Harry Potter. We all know the relationship, the depth of the relationship that Harry and Ron and Hermione had, and the relationship, who Draco was in all of it. So there is a lot of the world building that didn't need to happen because the world is already built in our minds from the Harry Potter series, the books, the movies, all that kind of stuff. So we had that backstory, all the magic systems, the world built from it, all the magic lore, all that kind of stuff. So we got to build on that. And I think in this book, one of the cool things that SenYinLu has done has built on the magic of the Harry Potter world. So there's a lot of dark magic that I don't know how to explain it. There's a lot. I'm not spoiling, so I don't want to go into the details of some of the things that come up, because when they do, I'm like, fuck, that's so cool. That's so cool that she thought to twist it in this way or have these other political things happening, new creations of magic, just really, really cool stuff that develops on what we already know of Harry Potter. But yeah, the downside of that being rebranded or rewritten to Alchemized is that there would have to be some more world building, right? Because we're going to have new characters, it's going to be a new world. It needs to be completely original. So yeah, it's going to be that she's going to have to figure that out of world building, which is totally fine. I'm sure she will. She's a great writer. But the plus side to it, I guess, is that it does leave that opening for original storytelling, which could mean that it's just going to be new and exciting, right? This story, it's not because it was Harry Potter that made Manacled so good to me. I loved that there was a little bit of a Harry Potter thing, but it was just so different to Harry Potter. The reason why I loved this book so much was the plot with the time, the memory loss, the characters of like the tension, the enemies to lovers, the plot in itself was so well written that it had me like, I had no idea what to expect, even though I was kind of handed so much information at the start of the book and then, you know, taken back in time or in future in time or whatever. I still had no idea how things were going to turn out. I had no idea how the relationships could develop from where they were. So it was really, really great in that sense that nothing was predictable. This book was so unpredictable. And the fact that she did that has no relation to whether that was Harry Potter or not. So being alchemized, I think that that's going to be really, really great. So with that now, kind of like know a little bit about the tropes, a little bit about obviously the background of what it is, what to expect, dark romance, all that kind of stuff. If you're wondering how to read it now that it's been taken down, I got it as a PDF online. So, you know, you could literally type in ACOTAR PDF and get it for free, like any book for free online, really. So you can do that with Manacled, which is what I did. I actually had such a big like hissy fit because I knew that I wanted to read it. It was on my like next TBR. And then when I went to get it on Goodreads, it said it wasn't there. I went to get it on something else. It said, no, this has been taken down. And then I went on Goodreads and the first review said, goodbye to our greatest fan fiction of all time. I literally freaked the fuck out. I was like, holy shit, I've missed it. It's gone. Like, it's been taken. And I wanted to read it as Harry Potter. Like, I'm keen for Alchemized. I'm probably going to read that too, even though I know the story. I'm probably still going to read it. But I was so excited for it and I freaked out so badly. I was writing my little book club messages with the girls who no one had an interest in reading it. And I was just like, oh my God, it's gone. I can't read it. But anyways, James found a way to download it as a PDF online off Google and put it on my Kindle within like 10 minutes. So you can do that and just read it that way through the Kindle, or if I guess if you've got your phone, you could read it off that, download it as a file and read it that way, or an iPad or on your laptop or whatever else. But it's pretty much going to be the way you're going to have to read it. Otherwise, on Etsy, people have beautiful, like gorgeous created, printed, what is it called? Book-binded versions. They are just expensive, but honestly, I feel like I'm probably going to ask for that for like my birthday or Christmas or something because, yeah, just love it so much. So let's get into a couple of my notes that I had to make sure that you know if this book is going to essentially be for you and be something that you want to read. Okay. First note that I have, this is all out war. It is full on fucking war and it doesn't hide. Like there is some gruesome writing in this book. There is pretty detailed horrific scenes. There is horrific magic that sounds just like it would be so horrible. We're talking developments on the unforgivables. It's just brutal. So you need to make sure that you've got the stomach for, I guess, some pretty gruesome writing. Also, trigger warning, major fucking trigger warning. There's like trigger warnings at the start of the book and at each paragraph. I've got to write one down before I remember it as well. So trigger warning massively of like rape, right? So there was a lot. I was looking at people's book icks when Tori and I did the episode of book icks, and a massive ick of people's is they can't read any rape or sexual assault, which I totally get 100%. It's like dark and heavy. So there is that trigger warning. And if you can't read that, then don't even go near this book, honestly, because there's a solid amount of time that you're kind of stuck in this drudgery of some heavy trigger warnings. So it is important to know that trigger warning of rape, heavy on the sexual assault, heavy on like almost trafficking in a way, some sort of like magical trafficking, and self-harm. There's self-harm as well. So the book is dark, 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 dark romance, dark fantasy, dark romance, dark as fuck. I didn't think that that would be something that I'd be into, but I think the storyline and the plot really had me like deep in it, right? So yeah, I think that's a really important thing. Another important thing is that the characters you know and love are gone. They're so different. So you can't come into Manacled expecting your beautiful Harry Potter characters. It's super random. Like Harry Potter smokes. Smokes C's. I hope that's not too much of a spoiler. Honestly, it's like literally one sentence in the book, so it doesn't matter. But that just shows you like there's so much different, like there's this character development of how the war has just trashed people, right? And the characters, their relationships are different. Their like energies are different. They've all got freaking PTSD. Everyone's just a bit fucked up. So you need to know that like you can't expect to go into this book with any of the same ideas of your Harry Potter characters. You just can't. And that's pretty much like, I guess, all of the stuff to know if this book is for you, because essentially you're going to start reading it and be like, what? What is actually going on? This is so intense. That's exactly what I was like. I was like, I don't. And then like you think, okay, surely it's got to like get a little bit brighter soon. It doesn't. Not for a while. So just know the story that you're getting into before you do. And yeah, the other thing that I wanted to note is, so although SenYinLu's writing is amazing, I don't know if I got like a lesser published version, or I don't know if she like literally just could have never got it properly published. So the spacing, like the paragraphs are weird, right? So halfway through a chapter, it might be like, yeah, and then we went to sleep, and then, or like not even went to sleep. Yeah, we went to sleep or something happened. And then it'd be like 3 days later or 2 weeks later or something like that. But it's not a new chapter. It's in the middle of a chapter. So where I think chapters should have started, they didn't. And then when chapters would finish like in the middle of something happening and start right back where you were. So it was really weird in that sense for me, where I'm like, okay, maybe if this went through some more rigorous publishing, it would have had a little bit more of that, like, okay, that's where a chapter should start and not where a chapter should start. Personally, I believe it didn't hinder my writing experience too much because I just got used to it. But the PDF that I downloaded, there wasn't even really like chunky paragraphs. It was all kind of like line by line. And there were definitely words that were either wrong or misspelt somewhere through it. Definitely not massively, like not constantly so much that it would impede your reading experience. But there was plenty of times where I was like, oh, that's wrong, or that's spelt wrong. So just kind of knowing that that's probably going to have a little bit of moments where if you download the same PDF as me, I don't know if someone's done a better version or like if it's been published in a different way. This was just my experience of it. But again, like I rated this book 5 stars. So the fact that it was a little bit mishap there with the publishing and the grammar and a couple of different things like that, I still rate it 5 out of 5 because the plot was plotting so hard. The plot was plotting so hard, and I was just here for it. I was here for the relationship building, all of it. So there is that little bit of spacing and paragraphs are a bit weird. What else? Timeline change. I've written here timeline change. So I have spoken about that. There's like you're jumping through time, but not heaps. This isn't like you go forward, you go back or whatever. There is a distinct jump, and it is really worthwhile, I believe, to stick it out from that jump and then see how you feel about where the story starts again, or where like you start from. So I think that that's really, really important to, like, if you're okay with the darkness and you're okay with the gruesome stuff and you want to know how this story goes, but you're not really vibing with the first part of the book, it's one of those ones where you just kind of stick it out and go from there. Look, my personal rating, 5 out of 5 stars, absolutely freaking loved it. In terms of spice, it's not very spicy. I'd give it like a 2 out of 5. There's like 2 2.5 out of 5. Definitely doesn't go like full smut vibes at all, but there is sexual content. And it is, there is a lot of tension and build up and stuff like that, which I absolutely freaking adore and love. So yeah, that's pretty much my wrap up, guys. I feel like this book just will live with me now forever. I haven't had a story like this properly take over me since like I think when I first started reading, honestly. Like there's ACOTAR and Throne of Glass and Onyx Storm, which I just started my reading journey off, and that was just, I lived in a bubble for like 6 months of just falling into those books because they are obviously some of the most epic in the romantasy genre kind of vibe. They're great. I read Six of Crows in there too, which is another 5 out of 5 stars for me. So I had that whole start, and then I feel like I've had a lot of books that are 4 stars, 3 stars. They're all right. Had a bit of a journey. Manacled just took me. It took me. I remember I was driving down the mountain to work at like 5 a.m. And for like 15 minutes straight, I was there thinking about the intricacies of Draco and Hermione's relationship and how it was going to change from here and how Hermione would have felt like when she found out this thing and how that would have gone down for her in her mind. Anyways, it was, I was driving, and then like 15 minutes later, I was like, wow, I have not stopped thinking about this book for this whole drive. And that's when I know it's a 5 out of 5 stars. So I would highly recommend, but again, coming with all those caveats of knowing what you're getting into, knowing the darkness of it all. And I personally don't think you need to be a Harry Potter lover to love this book. It's good to know the Harry Potter story though, because like I feel like everyone knows a Harry Potter story. If you don't, that's crazy. But if you like just at least have a hold on what's going on, who Voldemort is, what happened in Harry Potter, then you should be fine. You don't need to be an absolute Harry Potter fan to love this book, because I just think the writing does it all. Or more so the plot line does it all, right? So that is a wrap on my Manacled episode. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you read it. And if you do, please let me know your thoughts. If you have any questions about it as well before any more from this episode, let me know. And we will see you in the next episode where Tori will be back. Goodbye.